Any idea you lived on a street that had an affiliation with the KKK?
Not a clue. Surprise to me, yeah.
A name change may be coming for some streets and landmarks in a valley community. The city of Tempe just learned several of their parks and streets were named after former members of the KKK.
A big shock if you just learned that for the first time. So now the city's considering a big renaming of all these areas. Jason Berry is in studio with what's turning into quite a controversy.
Yeah, have you ever heard the name E.W. Hudson? Well, what about Harvey Harrelson or James Redden? They all have parks and streets named after them. They also have ties to the KKK. Andrew Lizarraga's family has lived on the same block in the same Tempe neighborhood since the 1940s, and they had no idea their street was named after a man with a racist past.
I don't think really anybody had a clue that it had any kind of connection to KKK or whatever.
Historical records were recently dug up for some prominent Arizonans, showing the men all had ties to the KKK during the 1920s. The unsettling discovery has prompted Tempe city leaders to consider changing the names of all the streets and parks named after the former KKK members.
Do we believe that continuing to have these names of these places and the association with all of the evil that the KKK stands for is something that ought to be acted upon? And if so, what is the best steps to take?
Places like Hudson Park, Redden Park, and Harrelson Park are all being considered for a possible name change. So are several streets. Terry and Richard Ish live along Hudson Drive, one of the streets that may get a new name. The Tempe couple thinks the whole issue has been blown out of proportion.
I think it's unnecessary changing things that's been here for a long time. It's just like changing some history and stuff. Even though I know it deals with the KKK, I still think it's unnecessary.
There's homeless people, there's children that need food. There's a lot more important things to be doing than changing names of parks and that because they found out some old history about somebody.
The Tempe City Council is expected to discuss the possible name changes at its next meeting this Thursday. Public input is welcome. I'm told, however, that even if all council members are on board, it could take several months for these name changes to go through. Back to you guys.